Hello, my name is William Tyler, and today I'm going to show you how to do top-down movement in Unity 2D as well as animating top-down movement. Now, first of all, I want to stress that there's different methods, including some that involve downloading an input system from free packages. Well, this is a possibility. I want to show a version I learned from a Stuff the Brackets tutorial, which I will link below, that involves using the native system. So right now I have a small background and this character of mine, which I am going for this tutorial. Now I also recommend you, so the bracket tutorial used a special version with the sprite, with a pixel care, like a sprite, but I just want to use my own character. So with that out of the way, let's get started. So the first thing to do is to add a rigid body U2D command. So I'm going to add component, fix 2D, and rigid body 2D. And two things you need to do is set the gravity scale to 0 so your character doesn't fall through the map. And of course, freeze rotation at Z. Now that out of the way, of course, I have to add a script, which first one I'm going to call player movement, and make this a new script. And hopefully this will show up in Visual Studios. So in this script, one of the first things you can do that's optional is get rid of the start function because we're not going to need it for this for the script. That being said, you can keep it in if you want. Now the next thing to do is to add some a public float for the move speed, which I'm going to set equal to 5. I am also going to add a reference to the rigid body 2D, which that is done with public rigid body 2D, and I'm going to call it RB. And the last thing I'm going to add is a vector 2 for movement. So in update, I'm going to set the vectors for the movement to the following. So first for X movement, so for both y and x, you set the equal to input dot get axis raw, and for x, I'm going to call horizontal, and since I pretty much have to do the same thing for the y, I just copy and paste. I just switch out the x for y and the horizontal for vertical. Now the last thing I'm going to need to do is add a new function called fixed update. So apparently this function is better for movement and working in physics, from what I heard. But anyway, once oh, and one more thing is to that wasn't that I'm gonna add is a movement dot normalize in the update as well. So I've seen others do this, and from what I can tell, this is probably a good idea. Now going back to fixed update, I'm just gonna set a few things. So I'm gonna type the following: rb.movePosition, in parentheses rb.position, then add it by the movement, then which I'm going to then multiply by move speed, as well as multiplying it by time fixed delta time. So with that taken care of, I can just save the script, go back to Unity, and now you see that there's two new fields for the move speed, which can be adjusted, and the rigid body, which I'm going to drag the rigid body 2D component into. So now, if we play this, hold up, I have to check something. So, yeah, we just forgot to put the T in horizontal. So now if we play it, character should now be able to move up, down, left, and right for using the WASD keys, as well as the arrow keys. So it's good. I see that my character can now move, but I also want him to turn and animate and do a little walk. So next, so that's what I'm going to show you how to do next. So right now I went and did a few things. So to start, I added the animation window, not the animator. That's going to be coming. The animator is going to be coming later on. So for this, I'm gonna click create, create a folder devoted to animations, and I'm gonna create an idle. Which I'm gonna use my front redo for. I am also gonna create a walk animation, which for this, I'm gonna call print walk down. Now, there's two options for dragging the breaking the frames of animation into the. You could do it individually, like I'm doing right now, or another potential option is to shift click or control click if your animations are well better arranged than mine, or chances are also your animations might be just better than mine in general. But anyway, I'm just using this because because I just find it easier. So upon playing it, I noticed that this is a little too fast. So in order to fix this, one of the first things to do is make sure that the show sample rate has a check mark from it. It's just the dots underneath the lock. And once this does, you see this number with samples show up next to the name of the animation. So I found that this animation works better for a sample rate of 30. And this tutorial I found used 12, but mostly it just depends on your animation. So I'm gonna play this, and yeah, this actually looks pretty good. Now, I still think you want to see me do waste time doing the rest of the animations, so I'm gonna do that off screen, and hopefully this way will give you the time to figure out your sample rate and set up your other animations for yourself. So yeah, I'll see you back in a bit. Okay, so now that I have all the animations set up, I want to draw your attention to this animation controller down here that's been created, and also how it's now in this new animator component, which has been added to my character. So, okay, so this was based. So just quickly summarize this. So this controller pretty much helps apply animations to the character. So right now, I'm going to double click this to open the animator. Just going to drag this idle one down. And yes, we now use the animator. So basically, this is where we go to apply every animation, all the animations. But so including these four, which are the ones I made. Hopefully you made something similar. So right now, I can just delete these. And of course, don't worry, these will come back later. Of course, they still have the idle. So, but for now, I'm going to start by going to parameters and adding two new float variables. One for horizontal and another for vertical. So with that done, these will serve as basically as the name implies, these will pretty much serve for moving horizontally and vertically. Of course, now to create a blend tree. So to actually create a blend tree, just right click on the grid, go to create state, and then click from new blend tree. This will create a gray box called a node, which I'm going to change the name to movement because this is where every row I'm going to add all the animations that relate to character's movement. So, hold on. Why does it do that? Okay, that is off. Do not push enter when typing. So I'm double click it and go to this new layer with another node called blend tree with the slider with with the name of the first parameter I put in. So in this, I'm going to add some motions to the blend tree using motion fields. So in particular, I'm going to need 4 of these. So over in this tab where it says motion, I'm going to click add motion field 4 times. And within them, hold on, I'm going to add each of my animations. By dragging them into the corresponding fields. Now, the tutorial, this is the part, we all did this thing of the messing with the sliders and just making things walk down and up, but the next step pretty much renders that part useless, so I'm just going to skip that. And so the step I'm talking about is in blend type, switch from 1D to 2D simple directional. Okay, so after switching to 2D simple directional, next thing you're going to need to do is make sure one of the parameters is for horizontal and the other for vertical. And down here in the positions, we're going to do as follows. For the down, set the position Y to -1. For up, set the +1. Pretty sure this is left, so yep. Which I'm pretty sure that's going to be -1, and right is 1. Why do you always do that? Sorry about that. There was just this weird visual bug with Unity for some reason. But anyway, once you set it to what you see here, and as you see as I move this little red dot, the character in the bottom corner of the screen is moving around. And same goes with the animation. So now with all that movement taken care of within the movement node, we just need to go back to the base layer and set up the transitions from idle to movement and whenever the player actually moves. And of course, vice versa. So to do this, I'm going to first drag movement down here. I'm also going to add a new float, which I'm going to call speed. So next, I am going to right click both the idle and the movement nodes and click make transition, which will create this white arrow, and I'm going to connect it to each of the boxes. So, and once I do that, I need to click on each arrow and adjust a few things. So for both cases, you have to uncheck the box that says has exit time, and in settings, set the transition duration to 0. Next, you also have to add we were going to add a condition. So from idle to movement, so for both cases, we're going to say here speed for the first box, greater for the second box, and the third box, we're going to make this 0.01. We're going to do something similar in this box, making it also, it's a speed and 0.01. However, instead of greater, we're going to do less for the transition from movement to idle. And now with that done, all that there is left to do is to go back into this movement script and add a few more things. So the first is a reference to the animator, which I'm going to do by typing public animator. I'm just going to call it animator with a lowercase a. Again, just note you can call this wherever you want as long as you can recognize it. Although I highly recommend you use something like this because it's easier to recognize. So then in the update function, I'm going to add a few. Going to add a few some functions to set the parameter. So I'm going to add it to animator dot set float in quotations. I'm going to write horizontal. And oh no, just lagged a little bit. Come on. Movement dot x. And I can just copy and paste this as well twice because it's just for the other two for vertical and speed. I can just do the same text just with a couple of slight changes. Such as vertical in quotations and movement dot y. Speed in the third quotation. But instead of move x or y, I'm going to use square magnitude. Now make sure this is a lowercase s. Yes, and square is lowercase. It's not uppercase. And with that done, I'm going to click save. Wait for it to load again. And now you see this field for the animator, which you just drag the animator component into. Now just hit play. And the character now animates as it walks. So yeah, that is how you not only do top-down movement in Unity 2D, but also animate the sprite along with the movement. Again, I just want to give a shout out to the Brackies tutorial on Shin for helping with this. And I will link this in the description. So, but yeah, for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!